Hi everyone, I'm Rebecca. I have this new fancy title. Let's see here. Wrong way, whoops. So 3 weeks ago, I got this new fancy title. We call it the Glen Vries, Dean of the Mellon College of Science. And it's my pleasure to be here this afternoon. When I moved to Carnegie Mellon almost 2 years ago in August, everyone thought that I moved to Carnegie Mellon to be the Dean of Science, the Dean of the Mellon College of Science. But actually, I moved to Pittsburgh and to Carnegie Mellon University to help them re-envision science at Carnegie Mellon University. Specifically, to inspire and elevate science by leveraging the strengths of engineering, computer science, artificial intelligence, and all the other wonderful things about Carnegie Mellon University. To differentiate science at CMU by way of its collaborative culture and artistic excellence and entrepreneurial history. Obviously, if we think about the future of science and innovation and the changing role of work, our responsibility to the world, this endeavor at CMU doesn't just impact the Mellon College of Science, it actually impacts the entire university and every person in it. It's not just about science, but people and the way they interact and the environment in which they interact. It's about hard questions that can be solved in an environment that allows collaboration and allows people from different fields to come together. I have a feeling that almost everyone in the audience, by the time I'm done with this talk, will have some thoughts about the future of science, what it looks like, and the environment in which it should grow. The future of science is flexible. It's open spaces. Yes, it still contains graduate students, as I look at the grad students. But it also contains robots and computers, no doors, no barriers, everything mobile. It contains scientists, statisticians, mathematicians, artists, computer scientists, engineers, musicians. And much like the entrepreneurs, scientists of the future need to act quickly with problems of global importance, and they don't have time to waste. They need to come together, solve problems, and have a huge impact. As many of you know, how many alums do we have in the audience? Okay, you guys are going to get this next statement. Carnegie Mellon, I'm new to Carnegie Mellon, I'm not an alum. But I definitely appreciate the fact that Carnegie Mellon University is notorious for an over-the-top, very quirky, collaborative environment. It's always been kind of scrappy, creative, fast, and innovative. We have expertise in science and engineering, computer science, robots, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and CMU is uniquely positioned to create interdisciplinary teams that can focus on the future of science. Farmview, oops, that is not what I wanted. They promised me if I just, let's see, do this. There we go. Farmview is a CMU endeavor that has a focus goal of feeding more people on less land worldwide. It is focused on accelerating agriculture by producing plants that we can identify that have higher yield. Farmview is actually part of my own research program. Yes, I am a dean with the research program, and it was my lucky day that the Robotics Institute called me about 8 months ago. World population is expected to reach 9.6 billion people by 2050. Crop yields, as we know them today, cannot keep pace fast enough to feed everyone and to meet the world food challenges. Modern molecular breeding programs are extremely effective and have been a major part of my own research program. But the fact is that the annual increase using modern molecular breeding is only about 4% increased yield a year. And it's not scalable both due to human labor and expertise. The bottom line is, by 2050, we're not going to have enough land to feed all the people in the world. CMU and its partners are developing robots that can move through agricultural fields collecting data on plants, and unlike their human counterparts, also known as undergrads and high school students, these robots are happy to work 24/7. They don't get tired, they don't get unhappy, they don't get hot, they don't get cold, they don't get attitudes, and their results are precise and accurate all the time. Love undergrads, love high school students, but putting them in the field 8 hours a day, 7 days a week is not the strong point. By computationally and statistically associating the genetic architecture of the plant to physical, chemical, structural data, plants with superior performance can be identified, and identifying superior stock allows future generations of growing to provide more food. If we did this by hand, high school and undergrad students, we could expect to see an increase, as I said before, of about 4%. With robots, the goal is upwards of 20% on an annual basis, and we can talk about the genetics of how that's done later. Imagine the day when I am sitting at my dean's desk in Pittsburgh, and on my computer screen, there's a robot in a sorghum field, much like the ones that you're seeing here on the right. This is a sorghum field in Ethiopia, and the robot is traveling through the field collecting data. And I imagine myself sitting at my desk and watching a video very similar to what you're seeing here, and adjusting the robot or asking the robot to resample a certain plant, collect the integrity of the data, check the integrity of the data, and not have to be physically there, and also just the accuracy and precision of the data that come forward will make a big difference with respect to the analysis that needs to be done. And while Farmview is about my own research and global impact and my own personal desire to hang a greenhouse off the side of the Gates-Hillman building, which is also what I want to do, CMU has expertise in brain science, material science, computational biology, automated science, quantum electronics, and what you're seeing on the screen are intellectual hubs. And if you think about each one of these areas 50 years out, they will all be thriving in a different way than they are today, but all of these areas will still be the future of science moving forward. Over the course of the next several years, CMU will build a new science facility on the CMU campus dedicated to interdisciplinary discovery and the future of science. This ecosystem or environment that we're creating will be flexible and encouraging to collaboration and innovation, a place where walls can move, walls can float, benches are on wheels, connections are up instead of down, and we can change the footprint of a laboratory literally overnight to make more space or less space for whatever project is needed. If we could build CMU a building where we could dial in our scientific specifications, raise the roof, lower the roof, that would be ideal and certainly would serve science moving forward over the next 50 years. We need flexibility to give the space to diverse teams who need space when they need it, attack problems of global importance without delay, without limitation, and without barriers. This new building will be home to technologies and approaches that CMU builds and licenses, innovations that are required to exponentially accelerate the pace of discovery and manage the vast amounts of data that will accompany science of the future. Towards that end, entrepreneurship, like we're hearing today, will play a key role in the success of this unique place in the history of CMU. Many of you know and have participated in the celebrated 50-year anniversary of Carnegie Mellon, the merger of Carnegie Institute of Technology and the Mellon Institute. We are just finishing that right now. Entrepreneurship is what takes our science from the labs and sets it along the path to the real world. Entrepreneurship will move, definitely, CMU through the next 50 years. And it's what fixes our problems that we see in every day of our life and makes the world a better place. Entrepreneurship allows us to develop new, innovative ways to work and discover and to have global impact. The Mellon College of Science, as you will hear, is home to a number of companies that have been developed by our faculty and students. Success stories, fledgling stories for which we are really proud and that we follow with keen interest. Companies that are already changing science and how it's done, and companies that are set to change the world. Amazing people like DJ Kleinbaum from Biological Sciences at CMU. I won't give the year. 2005, there you go. Founder of Emerald Cloud Lab, where robotics are used to make laboratory experiments more efficient and more precise, and you will hear from DJ. Biological Sciences doctoral student Amber Lucas, who says that she is going to finish her PhD in December. Everybody pay attention, fingers crossed. Depends on her SBIR. Amber will tell you about impact proteomics. They've created a kit that cleans up proteins to speed up the discovery process. Chemistry's Tanya Simoff and hybrid solutions, which they are using polymer-based protein engineering techniques developed at Carnegie Mellon University to create tailored polymers that can be used in healthcare, energy, and industrial fields, and that stuff's really cool. I've talked to Chris Maniszewski about it. Chemistry faculty Haneed Nuala and LumaShield create environmentally friendly coatings for metal products. And our CMU colleagues in engineering, Thanasis Karolitis and Clint Nowak, are changing the world via their company called Anactasis, which is developing methods for retrieving rare elements from Earth in unconventional sources. My vision for science at CMU is more than just a cool building where everything floats and moves. It's one of innovation, discovery, and solving problems that impact the world the way CMU can only do. And we invite you as partners to help us envision science at CMU, to help us think forward about how science is changing in the environment and ecosystem that is necessary to support that science, and to make the future of science a reality at Carnegie Mellon University. Thank you very much.